Hi Warriors, I hope you're well. It's Melissa with Mental Muscle Wellness, and today I've got for you a resistance band only workout. Now I will be demonstrating using flat bands, so these are the ones that don't have handles on them, but if what you have are the tubes with the handles, those will work equally well for this workout. So grab what you have and let's get started. So for this workout, we're obviously going to start with a warm-up, and we are going to start down on the floor for that, just with a few simple unweighted, unbanded exercises. So go ahead and bring yourself down to the floor, all the way onto your tummy. And we're going to start with Supermans, which is an exercise that will warm up the entire back length of our body. Now, you can do Supermans one of two ways, whichever you prefer. You can do where both arms and legs arch up at the same time, which looks like this. Or you can go with opposite arm, opposite leg, which looks like this. My recommendation is that if your core is physically strong enough, do all four of your limbs at the same time. It's a better warm-up. However, if your core is a little bit weaker, or if you're just feeling a little sluggish or maybe a little slower, kind of like taking it a little bit lower intense today, then go with the opposing arm, opposing leg. You'll still get a great warm-up. The point is, again, that we're moving our body and that we're just getting the blood flowing. So just 10 nice and steady at your pace. Inhale on the way up and exhale on the way down. And then when you've finished, we're going to give our back a stretch. So we're going to hinge all the way up and back into child's pose. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to press up onto your knees, just as if you were doing a modified style push-up. And then you're going to hinge back and forward. So after we just did all of that arching in the back, this rounding should feel really, really nice. And it doesn't have to be full child's pose. My head is still up. The point is just that we want our spine moving in different directions. And inhale, we're going to come back to tabletop. And exhale, lower all the way back down. Our second warm-up exercise are push-ups. Everybody's favorite. Again, you can take these from your toes if you're feeling strong today. If you're feeling, again, like you just want a little bit lower intensity, from your knees is fine. I'm going to be demonstrating from my knees because I find that it's really difficult for me to talk and do full form push-ups all at the same time. So wherever you're choosing to start, make sure that toes or knees are nice and even and balanced. You've got your hands approximately in line with your shoulders. And again, just 10 good strong push-ups. Take it as deep as you can go comfortably while maintaining your form. So again, you'll see me, chest is going to come all the way down to the floor. If your range of motion is here, as always, that is totally fine. Remember, inhale on the way down and exhale as you press. And again, when you get to the top of the last one, take it, hinge it back. Again, have a nice little seat in child's pose. Let your spine have a second. And inhale up to tabletop. We're going to come to stand. And our last warm-up exercise are just air squats. What I would like you to really concentrate on here is proper form. Okay, we have a tendency, especially as coaches, to ask our clients to go really low with squats. And if you have the flexibility and the mobility to make that happen, that's awesome. But a lot of us don't. So what I tend to concentrate more on, or what I have been concentrating more on, is proper form. Regardless of how low you're actually able to squat, you want to make sure that you're doing it with proper form. So I like to line my feet up underneath my hips. If you need to, if you find that you have tension or stress or what have you in your ankles or your knees, you can take your toes and turn them open just a little bit. I find that that really alleviates a lot of that. And then what I always like to concentrate on with a squat is that the motion starts with your hips first. So the very first thing that you should do is focus on pressing your rear end out behind you. Then your knees take over to lower your upper body and torso down towards the ground. Okay, so hands in front of you, however you're comfortable. They're really just here for balance. You can even go out to the side if you prefer. But just as we did our first two exercises, 10 nice steady squats. So again, starting with your hips, rear end out behind you, then the knees take over and up. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Here's my last one right here. And relax, shake anything and everything out that you need to. Go ahead and grab your resistance band or tube. You can probably see on the couch, I have a couple here. So I have different resistance levels. My general recommendation when people ask for guidance is that this should work the exact same way as dumbbells. Some exercises, particularly exercises where you're using a large amount of muscle, things like squats or rows, you're going to need a stronger level resistance band. Things where you're using smaller muscles or more isolated motions like bicep curls, you may need and want a lighter level resistance. So have 2 or 3 at the ready so that you can change them out if you need to. Excuse me. Our first exercise is a narrow stance squat. So you're going to take your resistance band, and I'm going to turn again just like I was 45 degrees so that you can see form better. And you're going to place the band underneath both feet. Now in a narrow stance squat, you want to set up with your feet inside your hips, wherever that means for you and your comfort level. And again, if you need to turn your feet, your toes outwards, that's still an okay variation for you to take based on your comfort level. Okay, with the band underneath your feet, you're going to grip it so that there's tension in the line, but not so much. So again, take a second to adjust if you need to. And then just as we did in warm-ups, it's just a simple squat. So again, we're leading with our hips and then allowing our knees to take over. So what you'll feel is on the way down, that resistance will slacken, and then on the way up, you'll feel it tighten back up. So again, inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. And you'll notice that I moved my arms a little bit to adjust the resistance level for me. If you need to do so, obviously, go ahead and adjust as needed, whether it's your grip, whether it's bending your elbows like I just did. That is one of the many, many, many really amazing things, at least in my opinion, about resistance bands. More so than dumbbells, you are very much able to get resistance that is titrated just for you and just for the exercise. Okay, so that's 10. I'm gonna come and face square. Our next exercise is upright rows. So you're going to leave the resistance band underneath your feet as is. I'm gonna adjust my grip so that I'm at the very ends. Bring your hands so that the palms of your hands are right in front of your thighs. And we're just gonna pull up. You're gonna lead with your elbows. Your hands are gonna stop at shoulder height. So up and down. Exhale and inhale. This is an exercise for your shoulders and the front side of your chest. And this is one where a lot of people tend to shrug their shoulders up. Make sure that, again, you're leading with your elbows and that your shoulder blades stay down. We want neck nice and long, no tension there. And that's 10 for me. And we're gonna move right into bicep curls. So again, leaving the resistance band under your feet. I am going to switch, so I don't know how well you can tell. Right now I'm gripping my band with what's called an overhand grip. I'm going to turn my hand around so that I have it in an underhand grip. So again, if you're using the flat bands, take a second, adjust if you need to. If you're using the tubes with the handles, basically all you should be needing to do is twist your wrist. So again, bicep curls here, just up and down. Nice and simple and steady. And yeah, resistance bands like to do that. It's one of the few detriments of them, I find. If you follow me on Instagram, or my blog. If you don't, please do. But if you follow me on either of those channels, you know that resistance bands are one of my absolute favorite workout tools. They are inexpensive and easy to find, which makes them very accessible. They are easy to store. You know, unlike other traditional gym equipment, you can have a whole pile of them in a little basket somewhere, and you can replicate just about any traditional dumbbell exercise with them. So I think if you can afford the $20 initial outlay for the cost, they are well worth that investment. Okay, moving to bent over rows. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna step one foot carefully off the middle of your resistance band. Again, you don't need to turn. I'm gonna turn so that I can show you proper form. The side that you stepped off, okay, so in my case, that's my right, you're gonna let go of that side of the resistance band, okay? So right now, my left side is facing you. I have my left foot anchoring the resistance band and the band in my left hand. You're going to stagger your feet so you have a nice stable base, hinge very slightly forward, and a simple row exercise is just pulling back and in with your elbow. So your elbow stays close to your body, okay? And you're gonna pull back almost like you're starting a lawnmower, okay? Slower and more stable than that though. So again, just like this, pull straight back and up. Your elbow should end just past your waist. So we have exhale and inhale. And that's 10 for me. And all you're gonna do is switch sides. So the easiest way to do that is to bend down, pick up that other side, and then switch your feet, okay? Again, you're welcome to stay oriented however you are. I'm gonna turn so that you can see my right side and the proper form, okay? So again, 10 on this side, just as we did the first, and exhale and inhale. Okay, so we're moving on. You'll notice I grabbed a band that has a little bit lighter resistance. We're going to do a couple of exercises that are utilizing smaller muscles and muscle groups. So if you need to also make that change, go ahead and take a second. We are moving to reverse flies. So whatever band or tube you have, you're going to grasp it so that your hands are equal distant apart, extended from your shoulders. So there will be a large portion of the bands that sort of dangle outside of your hands. That's okay. All right. So nice strong grip. And essentially what we're going to do is we are going to open our arms out to the side. So I'm going to show you 1 or 2 reps facing the camera square as I am right now. And then again, I'm going to turn to that 90-degree angle so that you can see me from the side. Okay, but again, you're just going to open, and the band as you open it will come closer towards your chest, and if it hits, that's okay too. So again, that's what it looks like from the front. From the side. So if you'll notice, I'm not opening my arms further than my torso. Everything stays nice and perpendicular. Really focus again, just like with the upright rows, keep your shoulder blades down and really, really focus on squeezing them together. And one more is 10. Exhale, drop your arms. Again, that one's very intense on your rear shoulders. So if you need to take a second, kind of do a little shoulder roll, shake everything out. I have TMJ and sometimes shoulder tension will trigger my jaw. So I always try and take extra care of exercises that are putting stress or strain on that area of my body. But again, you do you, you know your body. You take that time if you need it. Okay, moving into a lateral or sideways tricep extension. You're gonna keep the band in your hand just as you are. We're gonna start in that exact same position. Excuse me. And then we're gonna fold our hands in like this. So you'll notice that there is a little bit of slack in the resistance band. That's okay. As always with me, it never matters which side you start with, just as long as you do the second side. But you're gonna take one hand, in this case, I'm gonna anchor my left right at your chest, and we're going to extend the elbow on the opposite side, out to the side like this. Exhale and inhale. Since this is sided, I'm going to do all 10 of my right arm reps facing you square. And then I will turn for that 90-degree shot when I do my left arm. And one more. Again, relax your shoulders down in between arms if you need to. Again, don't ever be afraid to take an extra minute to shake everything out, okay? So again, I'm gonna turn so that you can see the side view on my left side. Extend the arms, bring everything in, anchor that second side right at your chest, and that second side extends. So again, exhale and inhale. Take care that you're not hyperextending your elbow. So again, as you can see, everything stays perpendicular. My arm is perpendicular from my torso. My elbow opens into a 180-degree straight line. I'm not forcing my joint past its normal range of motion. And as always, I throw out this mention several times in every video I do, but if this is your range of motion, you know, if it's much smaller and that's what you can do with proper form, then that's okay. Honor your body and make sure that you're doing what your body needs. Okay, we are actually going to move down to the floor for the last 2 exercises. And again, I'm going to switch resistance bands. These are exercises that are going to be larger muscle groups. So again, if you feel the need to adjust that for yourself, take a second and grab what you need. Our first exercise is going to be glute kickbacks. So I'm going to take my resistance band and I've got my hands on the ends. I'm going to put one foot right down in the middle. And then as I come down, I'm going to end in a tabletop position with my hands anchoring the band to the floor. And glute kickbacks, that foot that is looped in the band. Okay, right now that's my left, which is the foot that is closest to the camera, is going to lift up and kick straight out. Exhale and inhale. The catch with this one, the trick with this one is slowly controlling on your way back in. That band wants to snap back and take your leg with it. So you have to really focus and concentrate on that. So I'm going to switch my feet. I'm going to loop my right foot in first. And then let go with my left. It's a little bit of a balance. Okay? And then same thing with that opposite leg. You're going to lift your knee slightly. Again, exhale and kick it out. Inhale and allow it nice and slow and controlled to return back to center. Carefully sit yourself up so that the band relaxes. Untangle it. If you're like me and you have long hair, pick whatever you have shed off the resistance band. That rubber tends to pick everything up. And we're on to our last exercise. So we're going to do our chest press. So before we lay down, you're going to take the band approximately like this, and you're going to weave it behind your back so that it falls across your shoulder blades. And then make sure I stay in frame here. Just come to a nice laying position. Again, adjust your grip on the band so that you're closer to the ends. You're starting with your hands in line over your shoulders. The band should be around the top of your shoulders or upper arms. And you're just going to press up towards the ceiling. So, exhale and press. Inhale and return. You'll notice that I keep my fingers pointing straight. For some reason, that just serves as a guide for me. It's like a double check. I'm drawing with my index and my middle fingers on both hands, and I can sort of visually see that they're both tracking on the same pattern. Again, if you have the handled tubes, or if you feel more comfortable like this with the full grip, you do you. And here is 10. Exhale. Again, just sort of drop the band. Take a moment, sit up, shake out whatever you need to shake out. I hope you enjoyed this resistance band workout. This is beginner friendly, as with all of my workouts. If you would like a longer or fuller workout, you can do these as straight sets. Just pause the video and repeat the exercise before you continue. Or you can also do this as a circuit. So watch the video all the way through the end, and then you can rewind it and start from the first exercise at the beginning. But again, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, be well, friends.